Hello, everybody. Welcome. This is Tamur, and this is my channel, The Cloud Security Guy. Today is a very cold morning in UK, and I'm talking about like I was reading about a recent security breach that had happened to Cisco. Public facing access and how it had happened. And Cisco, of course, is such a massive company, a multi-billion-dollar company, but yet still they had this issue which came about. And this is nothing new. I mean, every year this. I'm not blaming Cisco here or anything. I mean, most companies, you'll see that when they have like cloud computing environments, there are some misconfigurations that happen or some security issues that pop up. And as somebody who's been in cloud security for the past, I think, dedicated for the past 5 or 6 years, I know a lot about these sort of issues. And that's actually what I wanted to talk about in today's video, like how you can actually improve your cloud security. In a perfect world, you would just implement cloud security once and then it would be perfect, right? Unfortunately, cloud security is a moving target. It keeps changing, keeps getting updated. You need to make sure that your cloud security is improving, and that's the key question you should be asking yourself, that how to improve your cloud security, right? How do you know that your cloud security is not standing still? It's like moving forward. A common mistake I see with a lot of people, they focus on getting certified, they're getting ISO certified or PCI certified, but cloud security is a completely different. It doesn't matter if you're PCI certified or ISO certified, right? And you need to make sure that your cloud security is getting improved. So that's what I wanted to talk about. And before we move ahead, please do like and subscribe to the channel if you're interested in news about cloud security, AI security, or general security career advice, right? So the first thing, if you're actually serious about improving your cloud security, is security automation. One of the best indicators of your cloud security improving is that you're slowly automating your security processes, right? Whatever playbooks you have, whatever incident response mechanisms you have, slowly you are integrating them into automation. And this is not something which I expect you to do on day one. Absolutely not. But it is not something you put on a back burner either, right? Automation allows you to respond to threats in real time, and it reduces the reliance on manual stuff. And like you have things like serverless. I've talked about it this many videos. What happens is a lot of people get confused about automation. They think automation is like using AI and a multi-billion-dollar AI solution that's going to do everything. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about just automating a lot of the stuff that you're doing, right? If you get an alert for like a, I don't know, S3 bucket being exposed, or if you get an alert that some API key has been compromised, do you do it manually every time? Is there a ticket and the SOC guy goes in and fixes it? Because so many of that stuff you can completely automate. You can automate vulnerability assessments, patching, right? There are many examples of this given. You can easily find for whatever cloud environment that you have, be it AWS, Azure, Google. There are ways to completely automate 90% of the stuff end to end. And this is quite critical in cloud security, because in cloud security, everything is time based. Cloud environments work very fast. And you need to make sure that your security is as fast as those issues that are happening. That's why automation should be at the top of your list, right? Okay, number two is security as code. And security as code is that you're putting your security controls within the code itself. Let me be like very clear. I've said this before. Infrastructure as code is how cloud environments are created. You cannot escape it. I cannot count the number of people that I know that have so many cloud security certifications, AWS, Azure, Google, but they cannot write a simple infrastructure as code template, a cloud Terraform or cloud formation. They have to go to the console and go to the, use the graphical user interface. In an enterprise environment, if when you start working, nobody is going to be spinning up infrastructure via shiny interface. It's all code, and you need to learn the basics, right? There are awesome free tutorials present, but you cannot escape infrastructure as code, right? If you go to Terraform's website, they have amazing tutorials available completely free. What a lot of the mistake I see a lot of cloud security professionals making, they just scan these templates. They have infrastructure as code, and the IT team, the cloud team tells them, look, we are making this. So they make sure that some automated tools are present which are scanning, like Chekhov. I've talked about this before, which scan your infrastructure as code templates, and they tell you, look, these are the issues. No, you should be actually trying to move towards putting that infrastructure, your security code, within the code itself. So your developer team already knows what are the hardened configurations they need to derive it from. You embed your security into these templates, and it will make sure that that security is consistently applied. It's going to reduce the number of findings also. So this is a very powerful tool. You can powerful process you can look towards, which is embedding it. And a lot of people say, I don't know coding. I mean, honestly, now with the Gen AI coming in, you can completely automate this end to end. You can use Gen AI to teach you infrastructure as code. There are many, many AI developer tools now like Copilot, which can actually generate a lot of infrastructure as code for you, review it. I work in AWS, we have Amazon Q developer. I don't, and it can help you. Like I would say, it can do 90% of the heavy lifting for you. It's so much easier than it was 10 years ago. And so there is really no excuse to say that I don't know coding, I don't know how to do it, and those sort of things. Honestly, there's no excuse now. Okay, the third thing is context-based identity control. Now, identity and access management. I've talked about this many, many times before, that this is where you should start when you're starting cloud security, because this is how your access to your cloud security environment is controlled. And it's very, very important for you to understand identity and access management, JSON files, and everything. But what's the, I would say, what's the mistake that a lot of people make? That traditionally, identity access management is based on very, very binary decisions. Either you grant access or you deny access based on predefined criteria. Is the guy like, is his password correct? Is his role correct? Does he belonging to this group? But if you're talking about a modern cloud security environment, it goes beyond these simple yes no decisions. It needs to take into account many, many other things like the context, where is it coming from, what device. And the more intelligence you put into your cloud security environment, your IAM, the more powerful your cloud security will become, right? Like I said, the location, what device are they using, what is their risk score. You could trigger additional steps. You could trigger like notifications, put a temporary access block. And as more and more cloud environments, you have remote work and mobility. Cloud environments are typically public facing, so the more intelligence you put in your identity access management, the more risk you reduce. And again, a lot of people, they don't know how to do this. They say, I don't know coding. Again, no excuse. You can put those things into your Gen AI tools and make it generate very, very powerful IAM templates. I'm not saying it's going to be 100% correct the first time, but you will not believe just how easy it will make your cloud security, and how easily it can be used to teach yourself these sort of things. The next part is centralized visibility and action. Very, very important. Now, cloud environments are very, very noisy, and most companies, they have more than one. And more than one accounts, regions. How do you monitor this, right? Maintaining centralized visibility, especially if you're a head of cloud security or a CISO, you want to make sure you have one area where you can look at all of them. So you have tools like cloud security posture management and everything. But so if you started like all these environments, they should be monitored from a single location. Please, you don't want to have multiple security tools monitoring. You want to centralize this as much as possible. You should have a centralized single sign on for no matter how many cloud environments you have. You can have Oracle, you can have AWS, Google Cloud, Azure. Everybody should be authenticating to an SSO, and then from there you should be getting access. So now you have a single point of contact. Once you've done that, you should have a cloud security posture management tool. It is like a tool which monitors based on policies and benchmarks. 90% of the time, most of the issues that happen in cloud security, they are because of misconfigurations, people making mistakes. And be it accidental or intentional, they can result in your database being exposed over the internet or your bucket being exposed. And because you have thousands of events happening, how can you possibly manage each of them in silos? You need to have a tool which is monitoring them and telling you what's happening, and very importantly, taking action. All these fancy dashboards that you create for the CISO or for your teams, they won't matter much unless you're taking action. And there goes back to my first point, which was automation. You need to make sure you have automation built in place based on the alerts. So, and it also gives you benchmarks, because CISOs want to know, are we following best practices across Azure, Google Cloud, AWS? Will you know if some unauthorized activity happens? How do I know how compliant I am? All these things can be done with cloud security posture management tools. I'm not going to recommend any particular tool because I don't like doing that, but definitely look into this. And again, is a cloud access security broker, which is like what actions are happening. When you have a single sign-on, you can actually configure it with a CASB, and that will tell you if somebody is like, exfiltrating data out, somebody is compromising your data, somebody is not following policies. So CSPM, it monitors your environment. A CASB monitors your users. Make sure you have both of them across your environments, across your SaaS applications like Salesforce, Dropbox, Microsoft Office, right? Very, very important point to do. And lastly, I want to talk about threat modeling. Threat modeling is a critical process within cloud security. It's not something you do once. I've made many, many videos about that. You can check it out. It should be a continuous process, and it should be a group exercise, so that by doing this, you can know what are the security issues that are present in your cloud security applications. Uh, Threat modeling will tell you what are the entry points, what are the exit points, what can a user do, what can an attacker do, and how they can bypass your trust boundaries. Don't try to do this in isolation. Get your teams involved, create a simple diagram. You don't need fancy tools. You just need a Honestly, you just need a whiteboard where you can come and sit with the IT team, do a workshop, draw it, and then feed that into an Excel sheet. You don't need a multi-billion dollar, honestly, AI driven tool for this. You can just do it a simple workshop. Just learn the basics of threat modeling. I have many, many videos on my channel about how you can do this. So this was like a high level of how to improve your cloud security posture. Like I said, you don't need to get yourself certified to ISO, PCI, or those sort of things. You don't need to invest in multi-billion dollar tools. Native tools will work, but just start upon it, right? Start this and start slowly maturing your environment. I work in AWS. We have things like the AWS security maturity model. I'll put a link for that. You can check that also. It's a great model. It shows you what are the stuff you have to do to make yourself mature more and more in cloud security. The same ones will be present for other cloud environments also. So start improving your cloud security environments based on these. So I hope this was useful to everybody. Please do like and subscribe to this channel, and I'll see you in the next video.